Hey, how are you? It is the new year, 2026. Wow, that's amazing to me. Time just flies. What I want to talk to you about today is really understanding that we are unable to understand how God thinks. Because for some reason, I think as humans, we want to figure it out, whatever it, understand what the other person's thinking, what's happening in their head, how this happened, why, and so on, all the time. But the more I come into contact with circumstances that are obviously God has been involved in them, and that He's made something miraculous take place in a situation that made no sense to me and wasn't at all what I thought he should do or was going to do. And then I look back on it. Of course, while it's happening, you're going, what in the world? How does this make sense? This stinks. God isn't involved. I don't know what's happening, because we're quick to say that. Oh, the devil's attacking me, or so-and-so did me wrong. Find somebody to blame it on, rather than God hasn't stepped in yet. God hasn't moved yet. I'm in wait mode. Because listen, as Christians, we find ourselves in wait mode a lot. And that's okay, because waiting is a super good practice that has to take place for us to be able to hear from God. But if you're waiting for something to happen a certain way, you're not really waiting on God. You're waiting on your way or your thing to take place. And then when it doesn't happen the way that you thought it should, then you blame God for not being involved, or for not doing what he should have, or whatever it may be. The point of the matter is, God doesn't ever do things the way you think he will. I cannot tell you how many times I have had such a good idea that I really thought for sure God was on board about, and then he did the total opposite in that situation. And it looked horrible as it was happening, and I was sure God had failed us all. And then you're like, wow, this is amazing. This made this take place, and now I see why that happened. And so I just think, not only do we have to recognize how hopeless and worthless and useless we are apart from God, because realizing that we're sinful, messy people that don't do anything right without God is a super important thing, or we judge other people. So instead of doing that, we have to realize how depraved we are, and then we have to come to the firm conclusion that I don't do things the way God does, that I'm not going to be able to figure this out or make it better, but I'm going to choose to be at rest in it, knowing that all the things God's promised me, that he'll never leave me or forsake me, that he'll make a way where there seems to be no way, that we are his children, that we're his beloved, that we're loved and not abandoned, and on and on and on, and grace and peace and love and all the things God's offered us are available to us. They just don't come the way we think they will. And if we're busy trying to make up our own plan, we end up getting let down by God when he didn't even let us down. So realize what God has promised you and wait on those things to come as he says they would, instead of pre-orchestrating what should happen. It'll make everything about this year better. Love you guys. God's plan works, because you don't get where you're going unless you continue on. And clean for 11 years. Wow. You can do it. It'll make a difference.